God came down to Jonah and said, Jonah, you go to Nineveh. Nineveh, that great city. They have been doing evil things, and go to them and tell them in 40 days the city will be overthrown if they do not turn, if they do not do teshuvah. So Jonah awoke and went down to the harbor. And in the harbor, he did not take a boat to Nineveh. He took a boat to another shore, running from the word of God. The boat was out on the sea, and it was very tranquil, a very nice cruise. But then a great tempest came up, and a storm threw the boat back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. In fact, it was so hard it went back and fifth and back and sixth and back and forth again. And then all the men were so scared, all the sailors were so scared that each one of them prayed to their own God. And each one of them helped out, and they threw things over the side of the boat, off the boat, to lighten the load, because surely the boat was going to sink. And they rowed and they rowed and they rowed, and they did everything they possibly could to try to save the boat. And the captain looked around and he noticed someone was missing. And he went down into the bowels of the boat, and there in the bottom of the boat, asleep, was Jonah, indifferent to the danger around him. And the captain awoke him and brought him up to the deck. And there all the men were wondering what had brought this storm onto them. And they drew lots, and the short lot came, of course, to Jonah. And Jonah said, "It is because of me that this storm is threatening us. My God, the God of the Hebrews, told me to go to Nineveh, but I have run away. So please, please, throw me over the side so I shall perish." The men did not do that. Again, they rowed as hard as they could. But still they could not get to shore. And finally, they threw Jonah over the side, saying, "Please, please, God of the Hebrews, do not punish us if we are doing the wrong thing." And the sea was calm. Meanwhile, deep down in the sea, Jonah was swallowed by a big fish. And there he stayed for not 1, not 2, but 3 days. And at the end of 3 days, after him praying to the God of the Hebrews, "Please, please, God, I want to live, I want to live," the fish spit him onto a beach. As it happens, right next to Nineveh. And God again came to Jonah and said, "Jonah, Jonah, Jonah, go and tell those people of that great city of Nineveh. Go and tell them to do teshuvah, to go back on their evil ways and do good." And Jonah went and preached and told them. And from each one of them, from the highest of king to the lowest of low, they put on sackcloth and fasted. And they changed their ways. And God saw this and did not punish the people of Nineveh. Meanwhile, Jonah saw all this, and he was quietly vexed, and he went up to a hilltop on the side of the town, the great city of Nineveh. And there he sat, and God sent a great big hot wind and hot sun upon him. So he was suffering a great deal, and Jonah prayed to be killed. Well, then God sent him some shade in the form of a plant. And this pleased Jonah a great deal. But after less than a day, God sent a gigantic worm to go and eat the plant. And again, Jonah was in the sun and suffering. And Jonah wept over his plant that was now gone. And God came to Jonah and said, "Jonah, you weep for a plant that did not live a day, and you did not have any hand of creating. But yet, you were indifferent to the fate of the people of Nineveh.